Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakadash. This all praises to the Lord calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem in the name, and Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect preaching His word in truth and sincerity. On the brother Tazabah, the Great Millstone, Arizona camp, Lord will, with another video to edify. I'm going to start off by saying fair use, right? Might as well get it, man. Yeah, I'm going to get it every fucking video. Right, because Esau likes to do his fucking bullshit. But, copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 USC Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, and personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So let's get into this video and get into these scriptures, and Lord will this all be edifying.
Shortly after the US test fired an intercontinental ballistic missile, Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered his top officials to prepare for possible nuclear tests.
Now, on Wednesday, the U.S. Air Force launched the Minuteman III Continental Ballistic Missile from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California, part of America's so-called nuclear triad. The missile can be launched from land-based silos, submarines, or bombers and serves as one leg of the U.S. nuclear deterrent. According to officials, the unarmed missile traveled thousands of miles before landing near the Army's Ronald Reagan Ballistic Missile Defense Test Site in the Marshall Islands. They described the test as successful and routine.
Now, this comes less than a week after President Trump directed the Pentagon to start testing nuclear weapons on an equal basis with Russia and China, quote unquote. Following the test firing of this missile, Putin convened a meeting of Russia's Security Council, saying his government would also consider resuming nuclear tests if the U.S. does so.
You see? So this thing is getting hot. Nukes are being prepared, and that's all the scripture speaking, man. This is Ezekiel 21. Make sure I put that in there, man. Yeah, Ezekiel 21. There we go. And verse 9, it says, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus say Yahweh, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. So this testing these nuke missiles, this testing this stuff, right? This is nothing more than prophecy.
Nuclear.
You know, these things have to happen, and I love to see it so. Because this is how America's going to go out. This is when the scriptures talk about the lake of fire in Revelation, this is that lake of fire. America is going to be that lake of fire. From coast to coast, this place is going to be destroyed because the sins that it's done, the harm that this place has done. There's so much wickedness here that it's just going to be the new Sodom and Gomorrah, full of pitch, right? The scriptures talk about the elements shall melt with fervent heat. How do you think that's going to happen? Right now they're just testing the distance, but pretty soon they're going to start testing those warheads, and it's over. Right? That sword is being sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. You see right there. You see that glow that trail has? That's that glittering that the prophet saw. It is furbished that it may glitter. Shall we then make mirth? It contemneth my son as every tree. It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. He had given it to be furbished that it may be handled. You see, these missiles were not created for them to simply sit in the silos and certain facilities. No, these things were created that they can be handled, used. And we come into the day where these things will be used. The sword is sharpened and it is furbished to give it into the hand of a slayer, right? So they are going to be using these missiles. It says, cry and howl, son of man, for it shall be upon my people. It shall be upon all the princes of Israel. Tears by reason of the sword shall be upon my people. Smite therefore upon thy thigh, because it is a trial. And what if the sword contemneth even the rod? It shall even it shall be no more, say Yahweh power. You see, the Lord is getting ready to send the judgment. It's not only just because of the wickedness that Esau has done, but the wickedness that niggas do every day, man. I saw this one little short video where this woman said, old ass fucking woman. She had to be 75, 80, close to 90. Her one of her grandkids asked her, Grandma, how did you keep a marriage together for 60 years? How do you be with one man for 60 years? She literally looked him in the face and said, you can be married to one man for 60 years, but have other partners. Literally prompted it, and you got a bunch of little demons in the comment board, women sitting there saying, oh, yeah, I get it, I've done it. Talking about how long they've been with theirs, and they've been stepping out. Like this, man, the Lord got to do his thing. Niggas have gone too far in the world, and they believe things is sweet. I understand that the judgment of the Lord is real. And it's time, like the scripture says, it's time for the, O Lord, to work, for they have made void their law. It's time for people to learn how real the judgment of the Lord is, man. This is Psalm 7. And I started 11. It says, the Most High judgeth the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. And this is what these missiles are. We're going to get it. The scriptures talk about the weapons of his indignation, right? We'll get that scripture, but indignation means righteous anger. So when the Lord is angry with the wicked every day, look at what it says in 12 and 13. It says, if he turn not, he will whet his sword. He had bent his bow and made it ready. And if you think about the mighty power of the Lord, if somebody was to have a bow and arrow with all the power that the Lord is, wouldn't this be his bow and arrow? Right? When the prophets saw these visions, they used the words that they understood. Similes and similitudes. So when they saw these things shooting how they wore, the arcing fashion that they do, right? They called these bows and arrows. It says, and made it ready. He had also prepared for him the instruments of death. This is an instrument of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. And this is what is against. The Lord is bringing his arrows against the persecutors, these Edomites. Right? So he's getting everybody ready, getting all the scenes set, having all the movers and shakers come together to bring them down in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, where the Lord would judge them. Right? There ain't going to be no Edomite rulership. There's no heathen rulership after this. It's the Israelites. This was you heathens' time. And you had a ball. And the dance is coming to an end. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 41. Let's start at 40. It says, for I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. If I wet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, this is talking about the missiles. I will render vengeance to my enemies and a reward to them that hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh. Now, does a sword devour flesh? No. It'll cut, right? It'll slash, it'll chop, it'll hack, but it doesn't devour flesh. But you know what does? Thermonuclear heat, right? And that with the blood of the slain of the captives for the beginning of revenges upon the enemy. And this is just the beginning of the revenge that the Lord is bringing to our enemies, man. This is just the start. It's the beginning of the revenges upon the enemy, man. It says, verse 43, it says, "Rejoice, O ye heavens, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants and will render vengeance to his adversaries." And all the heathen have been adversaries. You read that in Psalms 83rd chapter. "And will be merciful unto his land and to his people." Now, so crazy that Christians will sit here and jump to the New Testament and act like everybody can be his people, but they know damn well when you read the Old Testament, you see these things. They know that it's only talking about the Israelites. They know. So they try to disregard the Old Testament and act like it's saying something different than the New Testament. But the judgment is it. The Lord is going to reward all those that fought against Jerusalem with a swift kick in the ass, and it's going to start with fire. This is Jeremiah 50 and 25. Started, I'll start at 21. It says, "Go up to the land of Marathaim." And then when you look at that word Marathaim, it goes into the word for double rebellion. That's what Marathaim means. In America, Babylon the Great is the land of double rebellion. Right? This place does everything against the Lord. Every single thing. Right? Women turn into men, men turn into women, children are disobedient. There is no bed left undefiled. Adultery runs rampant. Just the course and the actions of the people. What people justify, they condemn the just and justify the wicked. This place is full of double rebellion. It says, "Even against it and against the inhabitants of Padak, waste and utterly destroy after them, say Yahweh, and do according to all that I have commanded thee. As a sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction, how is the hammer of the earth called asunder?" And the hammer of the earth has been America. They've been able to go through everybody and beat them down. Right? Lay that nail flush with the wood, or even beat the nail so much into the wood that the wood caves around the nail that these people can never rise again. This is how America's been. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Right? How is this place being destroyed? That's what the end game of this place is going to be. "I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon." Right? The Lord got a fix on this place. Right? "And thou was not aware, thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahweh." All these plans getting ready to be issued and to go against the Israelites. This is him fighting against the Lord. Yahweh had opened his armory and had brought forth the weapons of his indignation, the righteous anger. "For this is the work of Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans." And the Chaldeans were the chief magicians, magi in the Babylonian Empire. Right? And this place is full of witchcraft. America is full of witchcraft symbols and everything. It goes deep. "Come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly, let nothing of her be left." Going into Obadiah 1 and 18. There's not going to be any remembrance of Esau, Edom. The elite will survive this because they'll be in the bunkers. That's written in the scriptures. "Though they dig into hell, yet shall my hand take them." Right? Then the Lord is going to have it so that we can put the heathen into captivity just like the heathen did to us. That's just righteous judgment. "Slay all her bulwarks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for the day is come, the time of their visitation." You see? We're in that time where the day of their visitation is coming. This is Isaiah 13 and 5. I wasn't going to make this long. I just want to make it a little short and sweet. Isaiah 13 and 4 says, The noise of the multitude in the mountains like as a great people. This is talking about the missiles. Revelation talks about 200,000 horsemen, right? Talking about that power, the strength that the missiles have. A multitude of a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahweh of hosts mustered the host to the battle. So the Lord is bringing these armies together and setting the conflict to bring them all together. They come from a far country, even from the ends of heaven, talking about the missiles, even Yahweh and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. And this is why they talked about intercontinental. ICBM. Intercontinental ballistic missile, right? And the ballistics is going to be off the chain, man. The scriptures tell you the earth is going to rail to and fro like a drunkard. You tell man, for something that is a fraction, not even a fraction, a decimal of the size of the earth, it's going to rock this place. And especially when you put in the factor that how many of these missiles are going to be shot off. Right? It says, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. How ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. And this is what's happening. The Lord is cooking up this conflict to bring just that. The destruction of Babylon the Great. And this is just the beginning of revenges on those that have wounded and hurt the people of the Lord. This is just the beginning. Right? So I'm going to label this one, he ordained his arrows against the persecutor. Because that's where this lesson all started. But this is where we at. Lord willing was edifying him and say, call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash.